Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, my name is Jimmy and this is Patriots Glow. And in today's video, I'm going to make a tiered planter box that you can actually swivel or tilt towards you or away from you so that you can either work on your plants or have them straight up or tilt them the other direction depending on how the sunlight is. Now you can buy these on Amazon for anywhere from I think $100 to $130 depending on the price point. But here's the kicker. If people bought those online, they would spend $120, get it in the mail, and actually have to put it together themselves. If you build these locally and sell them, you can deliver them or they can pick them up pre-built and they don't have to worry about building them. That saves them a large step. So, could you sell them for $120? Yes. Can you sell them for $140, $150 possibly? That is very possible too, because that takes out the building process for them. So we are going to go ahead and get into this. I'm going to try to do this out of 10 fence pickets. I think I can do it. Might have to use a couple more, might have to use one less. We're going to try to use 10. We're also going to need a couple of 2x4s here. I have these. We've got a box of bolts. I'm going to use 3/8 by 16 by 3 inches. Depending on what you use for the side supports will depend on how long your bolts need to be. So that may change for you. Make sure you get the nuts to go on the other side. Don't be a nut, get some nuts. And also make sure that you get some washers. You're gonna want the washers as well. And that will be because there will be some swivel action going on. So you'll want those washers on the insides and then you don't compress everything and mess up your wood as well. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. Should be super basic, simple, easy, a bunch of super easy cuts and assembly. So you'll need some saws, some wood glue, and some adjustable wrenches. Very basic tools, and you guys can put these together at home for yourselves, for loved ones, or to sell on Marketplace or at your local craft booth. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into this build. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So obviously you are going to want all of your boards to be as clean as possible. So any rough edges, you're going to clean them up and then mark at 30 inches. You're going to need 16 boards at 30 inches long. And that is going to make this 5-tier planter. Again, 16 boards at 30 inches. Like I said, make sure you clean up those edges, get all of those nails out of there. Make sure you're not chopping those up with your saws, dulling those blades, causing safety issues, things like that. But it's a lot of cuts, but let's go ahead and make all 16 of those cuts and then we'll get to the next steps. Now you'll end up having these end pieces right here that you see sitting there on the saw. You'll have those sitting there. You'll want all of those because those will end up being your end caps. They'll end up getting used in the long run, which ends up being really nice because it ends up being very, very minimal scrap here. Now, we don't end up having actually all of our boards cut just yet, but we are going to come through and clean up all the edges. We're not taking a lot off. We're literally just taking a sliver off. So these measurements might be slightly different for you, but just take a sliver off. Now, what I will tell you, cleaning up both sides on mine ended up making my boards 5 3/4 inches. And that was perfectly fine. Nice even number for me there so that when I start building my boxes, everything's a little bit easier to go off of. Now, if you remember those end caps that I was talking about, we're coming back through and we're going to end up cutting a 5-degree angle on all of the sides of those. And I'm going to do that on all of those end cap pieces that I have available real quick. And then the long portion is going to be roughly 8 inches to 8 1/4, but we are going to go ahead and make both sides of that a 5-degree angle. And that's because we want these planter boxes to be at an angled cut right here. And you're going to see why. Once I go to nail them together, you're going to pull those sides out and just a slight bit, and they're going to be angled in. Now, you see me using brad nails right here and some wood glue. I end up coming back through with screws. You can use brad nails, but these are going to be 36 inches long. If you're going to use brad nails, you better use quite a bit of brad nails, and use brad nails going all the way across the bottom. Use plenty of them because that's going to be quite a bit of weight if you just want to use the brad nails. And this is going to have swivel action going. People are going to pry on it. It's going to hold up on those sides. I'm just going to tell you, use screws, don't do the brad nails. But you do what you want to do. I'm not your dad. So we will come through here, and once you end up having all of your pieces cut out, all 30-inch pieces and everything like that, you're going to have enough. You will end up coming back and cutting another fence picket at 14.5 inches on the long side with that 5-degree cut, so that you can have an angled piece for your very bottom planter. And that's going to be your biggest planter on the very bottom base. Now, I did 2 slats on the bottom. You can do 3. It'll give a wider, bigger base, which I think might even be a better idea than just the 2. That is entirely up to you. And that's where we're coming right here. This is going to be the bigger side. Now, I am measuring from the small side, but I always give measurements off of the taller side. That's the way that you should be doing it. That is the correct way to do it. But just like before, come through, put brad nails on the bottom. Now, normally, if I was going to have that bottom raised up, since there's going to be a gap, I would probably put bracers on the bottom of that. But since everything's going to be on the ground, I'm not going to worry about bracers on the bottom of this for the center of that. And really, this is built entirely to have like extra planter bases in the bottom of this, where people can put plants into actual planting containers, not to put into the bottom of this. But you can do it that way. You'll just have to raise this up off of the ground, put something under the base here. Just remember that while you're building this. And then you have to also remember, if you're going to do that, to drill holes into the bottom of this as well. The only reason I don't want to do it that way is that obviously you have water that will go from one to the bottom to the below that and everything like that. You'll have water running down below all of them. I just want to keep everything contained in each pot and everything like that. So this is the way that I built it. Come through, sand everything down, make sure there's no rough edges, make sure there's no sharp points or anything like that. You want to make sure that when we come back through to stain, it's going to stain really nice, because obviously they're fence pickets. Now, I am using cedar fence pickets. Is a stain absolutely necessary? Absolutely not, but I want to, because I want a better look for it. But it does actually have the natural rot resistant cedar to it. The stain will just make it look a lot better. I will mention it later on in this video. This is a boatload of staining. Probably the most staining I've done for one project at a time. Absolutely insane. Spray staining, probably a good idea, but just stain to your heart's content. Now, once everything's dry, we're going to go ahead and come back through, and we need to go ahead and start drilling your bolt holes so that we can start mounting all of these to the 2x4s that I'm actually going to show you here in a minute, because we haven't done that part yet. What you'll end up doing is measuring halfway across on any of your planter boxes, and then halfway up or down, marking that, and then drilling your hole. Now, I use 3/8 inch bolts, so you're either going to have to use a 3/8 drill bit and then ream the hole out a little bit, or a 1/2 inch drill bit, something that's slightly bigger, and then you'll be able to do it from there. Now, I end up just drilling one hole into one of those boxes and then bringing it over and using that as a template over and over again. Makes it go a lot faster rather than remeasuring over and over again. Way better than just remeasuring multiple times. Now, there is no scientific method here. All I did was try to evenly space all of these screw holes, pre-drilled all of my holes, and then put screws into here. Make sure that the screws are long enough that they can go and dig into the other board that you're attaching it to, but they don't have to be super long, just long enough so that you're actually holding something with it. And I do that for all of these. I put 2 into the boards on the side and then 2 onto the bottom boards that it's holding up. So since this is the bigger one, it gets 4 on this side, 4 on the other side, but that happens across all of these all the way across. And I promise I do it to all of them, but we're going to go ahead and skip past all the other boxes and get to the next step, because this brings us to our 2x4s. Make sure you clean up those bottoms or tops. Doesn't matter, because this is going to sit on the ground or on the floor. So you want these to be square to each other. It is basically going to be part of the base as well. Now, I made it as tall as I am, 5'8". Yes, 5'8". I'm 5'8". Anyways, I made it 5'8", and that is how tall I made it. Make it as tall or as short as you want it. I just made it this tall because I know I can turn this and then see the plants and whatever. I end up staining this off camera, and then I bring it over and start putting everything together. And all I end up doing is attaching those 2x4s to the sides of my planter boxes as I go up, drill the holes into the 2x4s, and then start to attach my planter boxes and then move my way up. And I just constantly do that as I'm going up. Now, I do end up running out of space on here, so I want to let you know, make sure you use a level to make sure that these are level going across, and just repeat this process going all the way up. And then this completes the process. Bolt them together, and there you go. All right, everybody, there you go. Super simple, easy build. Hopefully I can get everything into the shot and it's not fish lens too much. Awfully big build. The only thing I'm normally trying to get in here that's really big is myself. So trying to get 2 things in here that are big, kind of difficult. But we have this, which has a perceived value of being really high because it's so big and heavy, and it's made out of real wood. Now, what I put on the beginning of the video was from Amazon for $130, which you got to think is compressed wood, comes flat packaged. They have to put it together themselves. So there are a lot of disadvantages for them to buy off of Amazon. Now, if they buy this from you, you have to think it's handmade, already assembled, and you can design this however you want to design it, which makes it a lot better than anything that they can buy off of Amazon. So do I think that you could realistically price this for somewhere around $180? Yes, you could, and then maybe come down from the price from there if you have to. But it depends on how you present this item and sell it and the quality that you make it. I might round these corners off more, maybe put a little bit better of a finish on here, a little bit shinier, things like that. Perceived value. So we end up using 9 fence pickets for this, 2 2x4s, a package of bolts, a package of nuts, a package of washers. So realistically, we probably ended up spending somewhere around $30, $35.
The price is wrong, bitch.
I'll try to put how much we spent all together with everything. I'll look at the receipts somewhere on the screen here so that we kind of know how much we actually spent on everything all together. And that's what you end up spending. Now, it took me probably, without having to move everything around, for the camera shots and everything like that, stopping the camera and everything. Probably an hour putting this together, trying to figure out how I wanted the angles and stuff. But if you got this on a streamline, it could go a lot faster than an hour, because, well, I say that, but the staining probably takes me the longest amount of time here because it's actually a lot of staining. So if you could spray stain this, that might be your best option. So if you guys liked what you've seen, please go ahead and give me a like, subscribe. If you hit that like button, smash that hype button. It really helps the channel. It helps us grow as a community. And like always, you are the foundation that this channel is built on. I love you guys, and I hope to catch you in the next video.